Hello there, my name's Andy Vernon and I'm an RHS Horticultural Adviser, and this is a short info burst on 5 books that I tend to use a lot at the moment, and hopefully some sort of design tips as well. So here goes. The first book is The Creative Shrub Garden by Andy McIndoe, and what I really like about this book is the fact that it's got such a lot of different suggestions for shrubs and sort of planting schemes, and it just really spices up, I think, the choice of shrubs that you can grow in a garden, which at times I think in some designs can just get very samey. You know, you see the same old things used all the time, but actually there's so many different really good plants out there, and how Andy McIndoe comes at this book is to just really try and inspire with different planting schemes, sort of different themes, different styles. I like the way that he's sort of come at shrubs in this, and of course he's the guy from Hilliers and a real expert, and I think if you're feeling a little bit uninspired in terms of designing and putting shrubs into a design, then it's a really good book to just give you some different ideas. The next book, which I borrowed from my local library, is The Flower Garden, and this is by Claire Foster and Sabina Ruber, and photography is stunning, and it's just a beautiful book. Pardon me, a beautiful book all about different plants you can grow really easily from seed. And I'd say to any designer, don't be afraid of putting some annuals in a design. They're a group of plants that sometimes you rarely see. You see lots of perennials and shrubs and trees and all sorts of things, but I sometimes think that really simple plants are a way of really engaging people in a garden design and getting them to actually do something, grow some annuals every year, and get them in the garden. So I try and encourage any garden designer to use annuals in their designs, and this is such a beautiful book to use as a sort of stepping off point to inspire you, but also to just get you into growing plants from seed for the first time. The next 2 books are Bibles for me, because as an RHS advisor I'm always being asked about all sorts of pruning, pest and disease issues, but why these books are so good is I think they give you a really sort of rounded idea about plants. So if you're going to put a tree or a shrub or something into a design, it's a good idea to reference it in a book like this and really get an idea for its habit, its spread, how it can be pruned, so that you can perhaps give some of those tips over to the person you're designing for, and just get a really more fuller feel for a tree or a shrub, or how the different forms that trees and shrubs can be pruned into. I think it just gives you a kind of a more rounded, holistic knowledge of plants to sort of use these sort of reference books, which for me are just invaluable. And of course all this information is updated on RHS websites, but I think in books like this it's good to go to the back, look up a plant that you're thinking of popping into a design, and just thinking about, is this a good choice for this soil, this location? Is it going to get lots of pests and diseases, or is it going to absolutely thrive there? And then the same for this one, a good feel for the habit, the overall, maximum size. Have I chosen something too big, too small? And I think those 2 are, invaluable really, and brilliant RHS books. And then the final book is a bit of shameless self-promotion, is a book I wrote a few years ago, all about my love for colour really. And I think, there's nothing like really good colour schemes in gardens to really brighten your day and to just really kind of energise you. And I think sometimes I find, the colours in some garden designs all just a bit kind of too well thought out and too polite, and I just love bedding plants and having fun, and I just think that the colours that you use in your garden, you can chop and change them, and I think bedding plants and these sort of simple patio plants, things you can buy easily from nurseries and garden centres, I'd love to see lots more of these in garden designs. I really would. the sort of no-nonsense plants that give so much joy and are fun to grow. So perhaps, you know, a less serious sort of colour area to a design might be a bit more fun for people. So anyway, those are my five favourite books at the moment, and yeah, I'd recommend them to any designer.